Hi, my name is George and this is my second video of the series Leetcode problems. Actually, the second video is with maybe easier problem. This is Leetcode 1. So what is this problem? The problem is, I will make it like this. The problem is given an array of integers, nums, and an integer target. Let me make it bigger. And integer target return indices, the zero index, first index, second, third, the position where the number is found, return the indices of the two numbers such that they are up to the target, which in this example is the first two numbers, 2 plus 7 equals 9, which is the target, so it should return the 0 and the first index of these two numbers. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice, which means you cannot use 2 times or 7 and etc. You can return the answer in any order. So let me reduce it again and make it better to able to see. Again, I would use a paint, like a tool for drawing, because I found it very nice for this kind of problems, for solving this kind of problems. The number one thing in solving Leetcode problems is to visualize the solution of the problem. So let me zoom here in and see what we have. The first thing is we need to assume each input would have exactly one solution, not use the same element twice. So the one way that we can use to solve this is brute force solution, which is we can make two loops for I in nums, for example, and for j in nums. And here, well, if I plus j equals to target, I would explain, this is not the code, but I would explain what I mean. So this means that first time we loop through these numbers, like we get the first I, here would be 2, the second I plus 1 would be 7, because 7 is the first index, 11 is it's on the place 2, and etc. But we cannot use the same element twice, so let me copy again this number. We need to make it right, so the first loop starts with the 0 value and ends before the last one, so here we would have -1, and here we should start after the 0, which is I plus 1, which is start from 7th until the last one, until the 15. So here nums, we should make it from 0 to length minus 1. So what this mean? This mean let me make it here. Actually, so for I in range of length of nums minus 1 without the last number, for j in range of I plus 1, the first thing, like 2, but plus 1, so it would start from 7, this first element here, to the length. Just I cannot, okay, I can resize it here, or okay, like this. I hope you can see it well. So in the length of nums with the last number, not without it. So by this way, like this way, we are starting from first loop I from 0 element, and second loop j from the first element, which is 7, and we are finishing without the last element in the I loop here, without 15, like 15, and down like 2, so without number 2. This 6 is not like del 15 and del 2. So if nums of I plus nums of j equal to target, I would explain in a second, return I and j. What this mean? This mean that here in the target, if we have nums of I plus nums of j, this is like if we have 2 plus 7 equals to 9 from this list, these two elements, 2 and 7, when they equal 9, how it's in this example, the example 1, we can return the I and j indices, which is 0 and 1, the output that we should have here. So this is the brute force solution. Let me try it into the Leetcode. I would just retype it because I'm a little bit lazy to type it second time, and just to reduce the typo mistakes possibility. Okay, let me okay, for I in nums, for I in, let me delete this because I would confuse myself, and this is not good in this case. In range of len to the nums minus 1, 2 dots for j in range of I plus 1, second element in the array, and len of nums to the last element. If nums of I, which is for the first, it's 2, plus nums of j, which is 7, this one, where it starts from the one, the one element, this one, equals to target, how it's in this case, return I and j. So let me run this code, fingers crossed. I have some kind of error here. Let me see if nums of I and nums of j equals to target. Syntax cannot assign an expression here, maybe. Oh yes, I need double this. Okay, the solution is accepted, so I would submit it. Okay, it's not so faster, it's using less RAM, so this is the brute force solution, but in this case we need, if the list is bigger, like 100, and this, if it's 100, it would be 100 because we are looping through all the numbers twice. This would be equal to 100, 10,000. So we can use some smarter solution to be to make the solution more effective. And how we can make it? I'm moving again to Paint, so we can make one loop, let's say for I index and num in make it bigger, in enumerate of nums. This would make I like index and num the number in this array. But let me visualize it first to be easier. So let's check if I'm recording this. Yes, I'm still recording it. So we can store every number. We can store it in a dictionary. Let me check here. Dict1 equals to dictionary, and here dict of 0 would be equal to index I for the first number, which is here 2. So dict of not 0, dict of first value 2, which would be equal to I, which is dict of 2 equals to 0, the index. the index is 0, and for the second you have dict of 7, which is 1, index of 1, because 7 is on the index 1, 2 is index 0, second index 1, 11 is index 2, and etc. So when we save this into a dictionary, we can make something like, if target, in this case is 9, minus num, in this case the second number which we can check if who is in dictionary is 7, minus 7, indict 1, in this case, let me see, if we already loop to the first one, the first number is 2, so dict of 2 will be equal to index 0, and 9 minus 2, 9 minus 7 actually, is equal to 2, dictionary dict of 2, when we check if there is a 2, like if 2 in dict, would return true, because the first element was were 2, the first element in the array, in this array. Oops, is 2, this one, the first. Let me zoom it here. Okay, so the first element is 2, so it should be already in a dictionary on the pointing to index of 0. So in this case, in the case of 9, target minus 7, the second number in dictionary. So if 2 in the dictionary, it should return the 2 indexes, like num of 2, no, actually dict 1 of the number 2, and I, the current index that we are in. So this would be like first index is 0, number is 2, index 1, number 7, for this loop, and here if target 9 minus target minus if target of 9 minus num of 7 minus num 7 equals indict, then return dict, return the index of these two. Oh, it's gets a little bit complicated, but let me use this index 2 because 9 minus 7 is 2. You can hear number 2 is on index 0 in this dictionary here where we store it. So in the dictionary we store the value of 2 to point to the index 0. So this loop here would return this index 0 here and the current index 1, which is a solution for our first example, and I think for every other check. So let me type it into the Leetcode. Let me type it to Leetcode. Like dict of 1 equals to dict for I and num in enumerate of nums if target minus I missed something. If target minus num in dict 1 return dict 1 of I, dict 1 of let me see to not make a mistake. No, here is target minus num, how it's on this example here. Target minus num and I for index, but we should put somewhere something into the dictionary. So else here we have dict. If this condition is not met, we should store the number which for the first element would be 2, how it's in here. Our number is 2, we should store it into the index which would be 0. So index equals to 0, num equals to 2. And this would be dict 1 of 2 equals to 0, to index 0, position 0 in the array. So let me run the code. We have an error. Type object does not support item assignments. Let me delete this and I make it just dict. I would put dict 1 here, so it's accepted. I would Control and Z to leave this explanation here, so I would submit it on full screen. So yes, it's faster than 53% of results and less than 49% of the other solutions. It's using less memory than 49% of other solutions. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks for watching again, and let's lead code more in the other videos. Bye bye.